Good morning. Welcome to another Theory Thursday. Today we're looking at two new tunings for your guitar. Now maybe you've done this before, maybe you haven't. You probably learned guitar in what we'd call standard tuning. That's E, A, D, G, B, E. Why does it have to be that way? It doesn't, right? You can do different tunings, which means you have to do different chord shapes, different melody lines, and all that stuff. But the results can be beautiful, lush, full chords that you're playing. So, with that said, we're going over two today, drop D and tuning that's called Dad Gad, but we have a little bit of a cheat way to get there if you have a certain type of capo. So that's kind of cool. Today I have my Timex Easy Reader on, and I got my gray tweed tie on today, and that's what we got going on. So, without further ado, if you've been enjoying these, please like and subscribe. If you hit that little bell icon, it will notify you when new videos are out, which, as you know, I'm sure already, are every Tuesday and Thursday. So, now, without further ado, let's learn some new tunings. Let's go. Okay, here we are. Today we're talking about a few different tunings you can have on your guitar if you're getting bored of the old standard tuning, which, as we all know, is E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay, that's standard tuning. And although it is beautiful, right? Sometimes you get bored of the same old. Maybe you're stuck in a rut playing the same chords and you just need a way out of it. So let's talk about two different tunings here. First off, one of the most common, even in the classical world, is what we call a drop D tuning. Now we know the standard tuning. What we're going to do is we're going to take this bottom string here. We're going to go even farther down. So this is an E. We're going to go 2 half steps down to D. And the easiest way to do this is to play your D string, and then match up the octave. You hear that's the same note, different octave. Okay, now all of a sudden you have this beefy bass note. And playing in the key of D is just a dream. Now with this comes some new chord shapes, because in the key of D, you have D, which you can play regular. You have G, but you can't play it like regular, because you get that bass note, right? Now that's an F. Okay, which is not in a regular G triad. So because we took the note and went down a whole step, 2 half steps, all of our notes that we know regularly are up 2 half steps, because this is a D. There's our regular E. So if I wanted to play E minor, I would have my regular shape, plus I have to put down 2 half steps up. Right? So if this was our regular G, 2 half steps up, we have that G. So you can't play a regular G like this. What I end up doing is put my ring finger up here, pinky right underneath to make this. So we have a G, we have a D, we have another D, we have a G open string, and then I have my index finger on the D here. And then I actually usually leave the top string open just for a nice, it's the 6, to add 6. It just fills out the chord a little bit. What else you could do is, if you put your pinky on the next string, the D string, and mute the A, That's another G. And what you can do is go back and forth between F sharp and G, so you can make it a major 7. You can also put your middle finger on the G string, 4th fret, which is your B. Right? So we're grabbing notes out of the E shape. We're just not playing the E shape because that bass note is wrong. Okay? So a couple different ways to play it. A, you can just play regular A and don't hit the... Or, you want some add chords, move that shape up. Okay, B minor, I like to do, these are just the major chords, or the vital chords, not the major chords, of D, key of D. So usually you play D or B minor like this, which is all fine and dandy, but with all of these beautiful, lush, full chords, I like to do A string, 2nd fret, that's a B. Skip the D string, you're gonna play it, but we're not gonna put any fingers on it. Middle finger is gonna be on the G string, 2nd fret, that's an A, which is a 7 for a B minor chord. And then your ring finger is gonna hit that D, which is the 3rd. Put the E on top just for fun. Just the add 4. Okay. Now this you might recognize. Now that's Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. And that's not actually how they play it technically. They are in a totally different tuning, but this is an easy way to kind of cheese your way by it. Anyway, there's just so much fun to be had with drop D. Beefy note. And like I said, there's classical tunes. I say classical, that's a choro from Brazil, but all fingerstyle, usually played on the classical guitar. Okay, so that's drop D. You just have to change one string, and it's just a whole another world of possibilities. So I'd recommend that. Now this other one, this is there's kind of a workaround I use on this one. Probably the most common open tuning, and when I say open tuning, I'm talking about you tune all the strings so that when you play all the notes without any fingers on the fretboard, it would be a chord, right? So you don't have to put anything on the fretboard. And one of the most common open tunings is called Dad-Gad, because of the notes you do. So it's another D tuning. So it would go D, you tune that down. This you would leave the same in E, in A. This you would leave the same, it's a D. This you would leave the same, it's a G. B, you would go down to A, right? And then E, you would go down to D. And so rather than tuning all those different strings, what I like to do is if you have a capo that looks like this, usually you take this long part and whenever you're using a capo, you put it across all the strings. And also, you know, you can play in a different key. However, here's the cool part about this. If you flip it around, you see this little rubber part. That's to be on the back of the neck, and it keeps it from sliding around. Flip it around, put this rubber part, and you can see it's a lot smaller. And we're going to put it on 3 strings, the A string, the D string, and the G string on the 2nd fret. Okay? Now, as you can see, the E string isn't getting touched by the capo. I don't know if you can see that. Okay? So this is open. This is 2nd fret. All those are 2nd fret. And then the B string's open. E string's open. Okay? That is dad-gad tuning, but up 2 half steps. So we're in the key of E now. And just to prove it, dad-gad, D-A-D, G-A-D is the key of D, right? And D-A-D is the root, right, the 1, the 5th and the 1. And then G-A-D is the 4th, the 5th, and the 1. So the way I do this is I have this open. This is a B, an E, an A, and then the B and E are open. So what do we have here? A root, 1, 5th, 1, 4, 5, 1. So it's the same exact tuning, just moved up a whole step. And you don't have to tune it if you have the capo for it. Right, there's different types of capos out there, but this is just a quick way to get to a tuning that sounds like dad-gad tuning, but you don't have to mess with any of the strings. So beautiful tuning, right? That's what we would call an open tuning. Because you can make chords just barring. Right. So, I highly recommend, and if you don't have a capo like this, just tune your guitar to a D, an A, a D, G, A, D. Okay, and you'll get the same type of sound. Lush, full chords. You just have to learn different chord shapes. So, if you're stuck in a rut, give it a try. 2 tunings that might help you out, break you out of that rut. And, I mean, it's a workout for your fingers, too, because it's stuff you don't know yet. So anyway, that's all I got today. Drop D and technically dad-gad tuning, but if you have a capo, there's a cheat way to do it, right? Put it on the A, D, G string. You'll be fine. So, anyway, hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you had fun. And we'll see you for the next one.